what is it that's causing weight gain? That is the question. Because if you get that question wrong, everything you do after that is wrong. And I think that we have everything all wrong. Well, it's too many calories. That's obvious. We've been told this since we're in grade 2. So this leads to this sort of energy balance paradigm. We know that this kind of paradigm actually doesn't work at all. Studies show it that the failure rate of this sort of eat less, move more is about 99%. So you're virtually guaranteed to fail. If you look at books like the Handbook of Obesity, and so Jocelyn's Diabetes Mellitus, which is one of the very authoritative textbooks of medicine, it says, well, reduction of caloric intake is the cornerstone of any therapy for obesity. However, they say none of these approaches has any proven merit. That is to say, I'm telling you to reduce your calories, but I know it doesn't work. So here's the way we think about obesity. Too much calories causes obesity. That's what everybody says, but that's really just the proximate cause. If you treat that, you're going to say eat less or move more. So this is the first law of thermodynamics, but it's also the unspoken accusation. And again, one of these things that I think is one of the most unfair things about obesity is that what we say is that this is the proximate cause, but the ultimate cause is it's your fault. That's the unspoken accusation. You let yourself go. It's your fault. You shouldn't have eaten that bagel, right? It's all treatment is willpower. That's all you need. That's what they say, but the model is incorrect. It's only correct if this model is correct. There's another model of hormonal obesity, which treats obesity as a hormonal problem. So again, the proximate cause is still too many calories. But what's driving you to have too many calories? Well, it's insulin. So in this case, if you have a hormonal view of obesity, then the treatment is not willpower, because all of a sudden, as a nation, you know, we're 50 years later, we have no willpower, and 50 years before, we had lots of willpower. Like, that's ridiculous, right? So the treatment then is to lower insulin. So if you're worried about obesity, the proximate cause of obesity is too many calories, right? That's the thing that goes right before it. But the thing that ultimately causes it is the ultimate cause, okay? So the thing is, if you treat the proximate cause, it's kind of futile. It doesn't really work. If you treat the ultimate cause, because that's what's really underlying this disease, that's what is important. So this is our big hope.
In a study, subjects maintained weight loss for over 1 year.
So you lose weight, and then you hope, well, you know, your metabolism is going to go down. We know that's going to happen. But maybe if you maintain this weight for a long time, your body kind of gets used to this new weight, right? That's our big hope. Unfortunately, it's not really true. So if you look at long-term studies, so up to a year, where they've maintained the weight loss, what you see is that the metabolic rate drops by about 400 calories a day. So it never got better. The other issue, the other hormonal change that we get when you start to reduce calories is that you change your hormones, your satiety hormones and your hunger hormones. So ghrelin is the so-called hunger hormone. It's a hormone that makes you hungry. So even 1 year after, your ghrelin is much higher than it was before. Peptide YY is a satiety hormone, makes you full. So if it's lower, it means you're more hungry, right? And again, even after a year, your satiety hormone is lower than normal. So the bottom line is that you're a lot hungrier because you've lost the weight and you haven't adjusted. All you've done is reduce calories. You haven't fixed the actual problem of insulin. So you're hungrier. And again, this always strikes me as one of the most unfair things in medicine. Because you're hungrier, like you're eating more, you want to eat more. But it's not because you're some gluttonous slob, right? It's because your hormones are making you hungry and you're burning less energy. So as you regain that weight, everybody thinks, oh, you went off your diet because you have no willpower, right? And again, one of the most unfair things in medicine, because we know it's all about your metabolism, which went down, and your hunger hormones, which went up. But it all stemmed from a complete misunderstanding of obesity. So it's not a lack of willpower, right? You're not some glutton. No, it's your hormones that are making you hungry. And you're not some slob because you're not exercising. You're like burning like 500 calories a day less. Not because you don't want to, and because you're not exercising. It's your hormones. It's your basal metabolism has gone down. Now we know this happens. So again, if you look at this caloric reduction as primary model, which we use all the time, too many calories, it's your personal choice. It's not actually true. So here they start off baseline 1,788 calories a day. At follow-up 7 years later, it's 1,445. You lost 361 calories every day. They did about a 50% carbohydrate diet, right? So they went up from 44.5 to 52.7. And if you look at fat, right, fat went from 38.8 to 29.8. Great. Low calorie, low fat diet, right? Love it. Well, it didn't work. These people who should have lost 36 pounds every single year didn't even lose a single pound. So we've known it for so long. And yet we keep telling people over and over and over, reduce your calories, exercise more. We know it doesn't work. So you eat less calories, you lose weight. Your body senses that you lose weight. So you decrease your metabolism and you increase your hunger. Then you regain that weight. But since you have a lot of willpower, you double down. You're going to eat even less calories, right? And we've all done this. So you lose a bit more weight. But the problem is your body adjusts again. It reduces its metabolism and increases your hunger. And you start to regain the weight. To top it off, everybody thinks, oh yeah, that guy, he couldn't stick to his diet. If you look at it from a hormonal obesity point of view, if you're trying to really understand the etiology of obesity, the ultimate cause is the insulin. And if that is the ultimate cause, forget about this eat less, move more. That's not going to be successful any more than drink less alcohol is more successful. The ultimate treatment is to lower insulin. So this is the DCCT trial. So this is type 1 diabetics. And what they did is they had a group which had a lot of insulin and low blood sugars, and another group which had not that much insulin and higher blood sugars. So at the end of 10 years, 9 years, you can see that the people who got lots of insulin, almost 30% of them had major weight problems. I'm not saying that they shouldn't get it. I'm just saying that here's an actual causation study. We gave the insulin, they got fat. There's a fascinating study done in 1993 where they took these type 2 diabetics and they started off with no insulin, right? And they said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just amp up the insulin. And what they did was that they went from 0, by 6 months, they're taking 100 units a day. Their sugars are really, really well controlled. But what happens to their weight? Again, you can see there's a steady rise, 93, 97, 100, 102. And the number of calories that they ate was reduced by about 300 calories per day. Even as they took less and less calories, they should have been losing weight according to the calorie theory, they gained. This is strong evidence that the hormonal view of obesity is much more correct, because it's the insulin which leads to the obesity, which leads to the compensations that we see, right? These are hormonal effects. You're hungry because your body is increasing the ghrelin. You're decreasing your metabolism. You're not burning it off. And this is the whole thing. That sets you up. It says you don't get fat because you're overeating. You're overeating because you're getting fat.